Hey there, and welcome to our Intro to Vector Graphics. Today we'll be looking at a program called Vector.com, and we will be using this in lieu of Adobe Illustrator to get introduced into vector graphics. The layout of our screen. On the left-hand side, we have a palette that contains the pages. This document here has 3 pages that we will be working with today. Each page can be broken up into a series of layers. So you can see here that there's an image layer and an ellipse layer, this circle layer here that I have on the screen. To the right of that, we have a bunch of tools. So here we have our primitive shapes. We have our rectangle, our rounded rectangle, circle, our pen tool, pencil, text, and the ability to upload images. Underneath here, we've got a slew of other shapes that we can quickly use to help us create some artwork. On the right-hand side, we have some more properties and settings, and as we get working, we'll see other properties with regards to our tools. The screen setup right now is set down here with the dimensions, and we can adjust that later as we go. You can see in the background here that my image, and if I just unlock it for a second, has a shaded part. So this square here on the screen represents the canvas, the part that if I was to save the image would be the part that would save. The stuff that's outside of it is not part of the actual the graphic that would save. Okay, so let's get going. To begin, we're going to use this template, and I'm just going to lock my layer to help us learn how to use these basic tools. So the first one, rounded rectangle. We're going to go, not grab the square one, but grab the rounded rectangle. And we are just going to come over and use the dotted lines as our guide. I drew that, it came up with this color over here. I can change the color to anything I want. So if I wanted a purple, I could do that. If I wanted to type in the actual hex value for that color, I could do that. If there was color on the screen or a swatch that I was trying to copy, I could also go to the eyedropper tool and come in. So if I selected the red background, if I selected the red background, that would make that the same color, although it makes it very hard to see right now. Down below, I've got my stroke, and my stroke, anytime I draw anything in a vector program, it generally has an outline and a fill color. So here we can see that my outline is black and my fill color is red. If I were to drag this off the screen, maybe I need to unlock my back image just so you can see it on a white background. You can see that it's a black outline with a red fill. If I double click on the edge, I can see these little inner handles, and if I wanted those rounded rectangles to be a little bit more rounded, I could pull them in. I can do them one at a time. To get the shape that I was looking for. I could also select the outer ones that would change the shape or skew. We'll get to more of manipulating shapes a little bit later. The next one down below, a triangle. I look through here and I got a square, a circle, but if I go down to more shapes, you'll see in here I've got a couple different triangles that I can choose from, and we will go and select there. Now, it's really super hard to see right now because the last color I selected was that background color. If I want to go over to white so that I can see it, let's go with that. And now I can see that, oh, it wasn't exactly the same size, so I can grab the outer handles and drag it out and drag it down. Control Z will undo. If you get just on the outside of that, you'll get the rotation, which is not what I wanted here. Okay. Essentially, shapes are just dragging and manipulating for the size. Down below, we've got a more complicated object. And when we look at this object, if we were to trace it, we might decide to trace all the way around the outer edge and come down and go all the way around. However, if we look at it as shapes, we see a circle on top, a triangle, and then a rectangle on the bottom. So let's use that approach to recreate the shape. If I hold down Shift, it'll keep a circle as a circle. And if I don't, then I can get an oval or all kinds of different shapes. So I'm holding down Shift, and again, changing my color back to white. Nope. Sorry, visible, white. We want a triangle now. And this time, if I held down Shift for a triangle, I get my equilateral triangle, but this is clearly not what I want here. And again, select a color. And then just a regular old rectangle to finish this off. One and another one. Now my background's moving around. When I was playing with it earlier, I forgot to lock it back. If you lock it, then I can't move it around. So here, I just want everything to be white, so I'm going to go up here and select white for everything. Okay. Now a few things. This circle, maybe I had it slightly off to the side and it doesn't look quite right. If I select all of my objects here and then right click, there's alignment tools. So right now I want to center align. So if I center align, that aligns everything top to bottom in the middle. To move this object around later on, if I come here and I just click, or if I come and I just click and I drag, it just drags one element. So if I wanted just these top three things to be together, I could right click and I can group them together. And when you group them together now, if I come and I just grab that triangle, it'll grab all of those elements. So your task would be to now recreate this little robot. There's a little sketch down here. A few tips though. Anytime you see repeating elements, so I've got 1, 2, 3 of these. If I make one of them, okay, I can Control C, Control V. That makes a second one. I could rotate it. If I hold down Shift, it'll keep it to it'll keep it to move on specific angles and stop at our 45. If I Control C, Control V again, I have this one, but say I want the mirror image of it. When I have it selected, I get a few thumbnails above and I can flip horizontal. So right away, after just drawing one, I've actually drawn 3. This part here, or the eyes, you may look at it in a couple different ways. One is you might look at it as, hey, this is one circle that has a white fill and a big red stroke. Okay. Other people might look at it as it looks like a red circle with a white circle on top. Both are correct. It doesn't really matter. It's just a different strategy, and some will go quicker than others. So to create a circle, I can hold down Shift and draw my circle. And if I wanted that fill color to be the same color as the background, I could come and select on the background. Right now the border isn't there. I'm just going to leave a little bit of border so we can still see it. And then if I made a second circle and fill that with white, and then again, to get them to line up right in the middle, if I select them both, right click and align, I can align in the center. That'll be center vertical. And then if I align center middle, that'll be, sorry, the horizontal first and then vertical second. Okay, so then you can take that object and place it on top of, let's just get rid of our stroke on the outside of that. So if I make it 0, then this looks very similar to that. Okay. Another thing you could do is if I took these two circles again, and actually let's, just so that we have something to work on, I'm just going to create, oh, that's perfect. I'm going to place these two objects on, but let's arrange them to the front. So right now it's behind that box because I drew the box after. So if I click on, or if I still have it selected, I can arrange that to the front, or vice versa. If I had the box selected first, I could send that to the back. And what you can also do is take these two elements, and if you select them both, other properties show up where I can unite them, which adds the two shapes together. I can subtract, which is what we'd want in this place, where it's subtracting the top object from the bottom object. So the top white circle will subtract it from the bottom circle. And if I do that, then I've also left myself with something that would look very similar to this. Okay, so to complete the robot, there's a couple tips on how to copy and duplicate. Again, here, this arm and this arm are the same. So draw one, copy it. This leg here and this leg here are the same, so copy and duplicate it. Good luck.